Hey guys, this is Alex from the CFCTALK podcast, episode number 41 now, and we're going to be looking at a 1-0 win against Fulham.
Yo, Alex, wait. I'm back, so I think I'll take over. I think I'm the host here, Alex. Calm down. One episode.
I'll have to accept it.
Don't you remember the last time when I deleted all of your episodes?
Ooh, if I speak, I'm in trouble.
No. NDA.
Yeah, I've signed it already.
No. Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another episode. I'm back. That's the latest news. Other than that, I want to start off before we get into the podcast. I want to start off by saying, if you guys have just tuned in, or if you guys are new around here, make sure to subscribe and make sure to follow all of our social media pages. If you didn't notice, a few days ago we did an announcement where we announced so many things, especially the second channel that we're doing with the presenters coming in and the short format videos. And then we're also doing women's and CFC youth content now on our website, which you can all find that in the description below. As well as there's been an update to all of the graphics that we've done. So if you noticed on this episode, the intro, the background, everything would look different than it used to. We've kind of got animated faces on there now instead of our actual pictures. Even though Alex wasn't happy with his, we can leave it on that. Quite literally. No. Yeah, great to see this team moving forward and us moving into this direction as well. But yeah, back to the podcast. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Tough game and not the best of performances from Chelsea. Back to winning ways. Seventh place is where we were placed at as of Saturday night. Amart, your opinions on the game?
I mean, the game wasn't really bad. I'll not call our performance that bad, but I mean, we did the job. We got the job done. It was better than our previous performances. Our previous Premier League performances. So I think it was a relief to see that goal go in, to be honest. But we came out with the 3 points, and I'm just thankful for that.
Yeah, same here, to be honest. I think there's a lot to talk about. Alex, your opinions on the game?
I've just about recovered for that. It was not very good for the health, I don't think. I genuinely was, I thought it would end a draw, if I'm honest. I thought we got, until the half time where they got a man sent off, I was quite scared because it just didn't look, other than Mason Mount, no one really turned up today. Like, the midfield was just not, I mean, Jorginho was pretty bad, Kovacic was pretty bad. I'm quite happy that we managed to come away with that because, in all fairness, yes, it is Fulham, and Fulham are their third bottom, but they've definitely had an upturn in fortunes over the past couple of weeks. They've actually been playing pretty well, as I said in my prediction video. So I definitely thought it would be a difficult game. I predicted a 2-1 win, and to come out with a 1-0 win, with the players we have, it should have been easier. But this Fulham side, they're tough to beat. They drew to Tottenham last week. It caused them problems, and so at the end of the day, we needed 3 points much more than we needed a performance. So can't really. We can complain, but at the end of the day, there was nothing more important than getting the job done, and we did. Mason Mount did. Thiago Silva did. To be fair, the back line pretty much did. Other than Mendy, I thought he was a bit. We'll get into it a bit later, but some players really showed up, but a lot of them didn't as well for Chelsea.
I think first half. Let's start off with the first half first. I didn't get to watch much of it, but looking at Twitter comments, even though however reactionary Chelsea fans are on social media, it kind of felt like I was happy that I missed that first half. But Amart, if you have to sum up that first half, or if you have to say how that first half went, how would you describe it? I did see the red card though. I did I was able to catch the red card.
Yeah, I think I was actually like happy with the way we started the game, even throughout the first half. Like we slowed down a bit going into like getting to the end of the first half, but I'm happy the way we started. We were more direct, rather than using crosses all the time, like in previous games. We were more direct. We're going through the middle more, and we had like we were threatening a bit. Giroud, Mount hit the post, and yeah, I think Mount and Kovacic were connecting really well with Giroud and Pulisic and Ziyech. Ziyech was also very lively in the first half. So I don't know. I saw those tweets as well. I think people were just angry because Lampard, because of the lineup. The lineup took everybody by surprise. So it was like people were saying that we need a creative. Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that a bit because we needed some creativity in the middle because you could see the Mount and Kovacic were just relaying the ball like they were depending on Ziyech and Pulisic to be their creative outlet. But I think we got lucky with the red card. It was a bad challenge, and we got lucky with that. And then I think things changed a bit before the half ended, but in all the way we started, I like the more direct approach and just coming in from the wings all the time. So I think I wouldn't really say anything bad about the first half. The second half rather was a bit weird, but the first half I think it was okay.
Alex, you've got anything to add on that one?
Yeah, I didn't really have. I didn't. There was not either. I didn't really watch it, or I couldn't remember much. I definitely remember the end of the half, uh, where the red card and all. But I I can't. Other than the post, it's just this game was I'll say this game was very frustrating, and in terms of talking about specific moments, it's going to be quite difficult for me because I'm just proud of the result. Proud of the result at the end of the day, but yeah, all I can really remember from the first half was the red card and Mount hitting the post, and I don't really remember Fulham really threatening in the first half, other than um,
They did. They went very very close. They had like a counter attack that their striker completely missed. And that was
oh
very
yes,
like
I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah,
they could have taken the
yeah,
lead from there.
yeah. We did look a little bit suspect at that. Like, I was very surprised that Rudiger got the start instead of Zuma. But I don't know about you, what you guys' thoughts were on Rudiger, but I didn't really see many mistakes from him. But I thought, but I guess we'll get into that later. But yeah, all I remember is cagey and very frustrating, but we did come close, but so did they. So until the halftime, and until the red card came about, I was not very confident that we were actually going to come away with a win.
Do you think we played? I think would you say, depending on that first half performance, if that red card wasn't shown, Chelsea would we have gotten the win, or would we have walked away with a draw, or maybe even a loss, Alex?
I'm going to say draw. I don't think we would have lost. We weren't playing that badly. It's just there wasn't enough good stuff happening, I think, or not that I remember enough. But yeah, I would probably have gone with draw, but with a draw. But yeah, if we didn't, but it was such a bad tackle by the dude. I mean, he doesn't go studs in, but the speed of which he makes that slide tackle is just so reckless, and you could see in the 5-10 minutes building up to that tackle. Or maybe it was just the whole of the first half, but there was a lot, especially Fulham players. They were being very aggressive. So yeah, I thought you could tell that something like that was going to happen eventually, because a lot of the Fulham players were putting in some risky slide tackles. So yeah, you could say all ifs and all, but I think it was coming for them, because the problem was that the referee wasn't stop. He was playing on and letting them they were perhaps good tackles, but eventually Fulham player Anthony Robinson puts it or takes it a bit too far, and Aspi got sent flying into the air, but thankfully he was all right though. So yeah,
I think when I saw the tackle, I originally thought, yeah, this is probably going to be a yellow card. So, but I think at the end, it was a red card. Amart, do you agree with that, or would you say, yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
get on
do I
with it?
agree with the card?
Yeah, do you agree with the red card, or would you have given a yellow?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think Aspi even did well to anticipate the tackle quickly, because you could see that he actually jumped before the tackle came in. So he wasn't badly injured. But if that tackle just went full force into his shin, he would have been seriously injured. I think he made a bit out of it by rolling on the ground. Reminded me of Neymar a bit, but we still got the red card. And the tackle was bad. Like the way he came in, the way he lunged into Aspi was very, very bad. Like that kind of tackle can really injure a player for some time. So definitely a red card. Like even they didn't even need to watch VAR or anything. That was a red card.
How reactionary was Mason Mount after that, guys? I think it was kind of nice to see him stand up for Aspilicueta. Would you guys agree on that, or would maybe Matt would have been kind of dangerous of him to do, and maybe even himself get a yellow
I
or
think
a
I,
red,
I
worst
think
case
the way he
scenario.
reacted was definitely. I don't think it was anything out of the ordinary, because if you saw the tackle happen in real time, it was a scary tackle, because it looked like um Aspi would have been really, really injured from that. But fortunately, he didn't get any injury from that. So I think because he was closer to Aspi, and he was like linking up quite a bit throughout with Aspi on that side. So perhaps he saw his guy go down, and he just went into beast mode. So I think it's probably understandable. He didn't go overboard. I think he was just showing a little bit of frustration. So it happens.
I agree. Like, um,
Yeah,
I did think it was a little unnecessary, if I'm honest, because he like I remember Robinson after the tackle was awful. So I was really I think every Chelsea fan was pretty mad at him after the tackle because it was really bad. But like Robinson wasn't being aggressive after the tackle, so I don't know why Mason Mount was pushing into him and Robinson wasn't really doing anything. But the tackle was that bad that it's like he got what was coming for it to him, and it is nice to see Mason Mount put some extra passion into it because I think we all know by now he's just he's very Chelsea at the end of it. I think he definitely. I know I cringe sometimes when I see others say it, but now I'm saying it. Like he is, he just is. Yeah, I am. Yeah, well,
jumping
there's
bandwagons,
there's
Alex.
there's some things I'll disagree with his fans with, but him being the epitome of Chelsea and getting the club, getting the fans is not something I would disagree on. He's yeah, his passion is nice to see.
Yeah, I think we need more players like that. Like we lack certain players like that nowadays. Those days, I remember the game against Barcelona. That um, we were cheated. You see how the players were always around the referee. Even aside that game, Balak, Drogba, Terry, they were always calling for fouls, always harassing the referee, always on other players and stuff like that. The aggression was there, the passion was there, but I think we lack that nowadays. Nowadays, the tackles happen and we just let it go, and it's even William had that. William had that. I remember we played against Tottenham. William has those players like,
Yeah,
yeah, they had that kind of aggression, but I just want to see more of that. So when I saw it, I was even happy. Like it just makes me see that you love the club. You are playing for the badge. You're not playing for um, money or whatever it is. You are playing for the badge, and at that moment, you could see, like you said, his Chelsea through and through. So you could see the passion just
I
overflowing.
think you mentioned Michael Ballack there. I think there's a picture that usually circles around social media where he's shouting at the referee while he's running
Yeah,
back, and that picture is just incredible. I think I don't think I've ever seen players be as reactionary as they were um, before, or players like Drogba and Lampard and Ballack, and especially Barcelona against Barcelona that day. Um, as Chelsea fans, we kind of still remind ourselves of that night. I think was it a few days back, or was it? It was circling around social media, like 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I
Throw
think it was.
back to
I
the
think it was a
day
week
when we got
ago or
robbed
so.
or something. I think, yeah, overall, I think it's great to see this passion, but I would say it was a bit reactionary at the same. I'll agree with Alex on this one. I think if the referee has taken action, if we know it's going to end up as a red card, and I know Mason Mount was having a chat or was fired up even before the referee took action, but essentially you kind of know whether it's a red card or not, and he could have probably refrained or maybe not have done it. But again, yeah, it's out of passion, and when you haven't won a game in so long, you want to make sure you have a mark, and I'm sure he did. Which takes us straight into the second half. um, Start of the second half. I think overall we were a bit slow. I think we were just. It was good that we were passing around because we knew Fulham were going to sit back and they were going to defend their hearts out when they went down to 10 men. But again, we were seeing quite a lot of crosses come in, and until there was a bit of a change in formation, I didn't see much difference in Chelsea's performances from the last Premier League games that we've seen. Did you guys see any
Yeah, I
difference
think
in their Amart?
the issue. You see, the thing is, we don't usually go through the middle because of the kind of defenses that we meet. You usually um, pack down middle, and then they play in a very compact line. So it's very difficult to break down, and that forces us out wide. So we knew that in the second half they were going to come out. They were going to pack the bus, like they've been packing the bus. They played 5 draws leading up to this game, so they really know how to pack the bus. So we expected that. So it just made us less direct, and then we started going via the wings. We had some pretty good chances, but um, it didn't really work out, like you said, till the attackers came on, and then it changed the game.
Alex, we usually hear, and I think I've seen this as well. Chelsea are probably one of the teams who cross quite often, and they get quite a lot of crosses in. Is it time we start saying, let's not change that tactic? Let's make sure our strikers or the players that we've got inside the box actually end up finishing those. Um, because right now we've got the ability of using such good fullbacks and such good wingers that we can't just say don't cross just to stroll in from the middle, can we? So is it the point? Is it have we reached a point where we say let's look at the problem that's being caused inside the
I
box
mean,
rather
if
than
you look at the
outside the
goal
box?
today, it came from a cross. It was one of our fullbacks. It was Chilwell putting in the cross. The keeper palms it, and then it goes to Mount and scores with the volley. So yeah, and at this point we've got to just embrace it. It's the way that Lampard wants us to play. He wants us to put lots of crosses into the box, which is understandable, I guess. We have Chilwell who can do good crosses. Mount can cross. Reese can cross. Ziyech can cross, and we have the world's best target man. So I think at this point we just embrace it, and I mean, yeah. Other than that, it's just a shame because then again we have players that can do something slightly different, like Pulisic. I don't really see Pulisic putting in that many crosses. He's much more direct, but yeah, I'm done. I used to say, "Oh, we just spam crosses all the time," but now I just accept it. It's the way that Lampard wants to play. He's using our strength. He's using our strengths, and it makes sense. And to be fair, that even the best, like Man City, you'd be surprised if you actually looked at how many crosses Man City put in a game. But most of their crosses are low because they don't have a huge guy to head them in. They don't like maybe not so much this season, but especially last season and the season before. Like Raheem Sterling became it was almost his trademark. They would put a ball in across the back line, and Raheem Sterling would get his left foot onto it. It almost became his trademark. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just that yeah, we need to get better inside the box, and we're just not very clinical at the moment. We hit the post, we test the keeper, but we're just not very clinical at the moment, and it's a bit annoying.
I think I'm looking at the stat right now, and I okay, so I've just lost it. But yeah, here. So we've got 21 shots on target, and this is the full game. So this is not just the second half, but 21 shots on target, 21 shots, and only 6 on target. And if I'm not bad at maths, that would be about 30%, 28%, I would say. And I still think we can do a lot better. And I still think if I don't exactly know the number of crosses we've done or the amount of passes that we've made from outside the box to the inside of the box, but if we are taking up 21 shots, I would say at least 50% should be on target with the quality that we have. And I know we're going to get into the bit of a player debate kind of thing a bit later on. But realistically, do we need to start Amart just having we need to change something. We can't just sit here and keep crossing and shooting and hoping that one of those goes in. Even though, I mean, it worked tonight, kind of did, as Alex said, the goal that came from across. Is there? Have you got an idea of what to do here, Amart? Help out Frank.
Yeah, I think the key to I think the key to that will be Havertz, because Havertz is more direct. So we can't, if Havertz is playing, especially when we played against Morecambe, you could see that the crosses were, we weren't depending solely on crosses. We're also going direct a bit because of Havertz, because he can find those spaces in defense. So if he is on, I think that's what we lack. We lacked a little bit of creativity in the midfield. If we had Havertz, probably we might get like a more direct approach instead of the crosses. So, but I agree with Alex. I think that is Frank's. I don't want to copy from. I don't want to use Louis Van Gaal's trademark statement, but it's his philosophy. So we just have to embrace it. And I think he just wants to perfect it. And the way we are getting those chances, and like you said, 21 total shots and 6 on target. I think if he perfects it, most of these shots will be on target. And if we are clinical enough, we can be burying those chances. And yeah, again, to repeat what Alex said, it's just a matter of finishing those chances. If we're finishing those chances, we wouldn't be complaining about it, because when the season started and we're finishing the chances, there wasn't really any much like complaint. We're all happy with the system, but when the chances aren't really buried and then it's still coming from the wings, that's when you see people kind of worried about it. But I think that the key is Havertz. If we have Havertz in the game, we go more direct, and then and that issue is solved.
One thing I'd just like to add.
I think
Oh, sorry, go on.
go for it. Go for it.
Is like one point you said at the moment about the having more shots on target. It's one thing having that, but it's also another point of having actually good shots on target and not ones that are straight at the keeper. Like I don't really remember like Areola today. I don't really remember him. I mean, I know he's been in good form recently, but I don't really remember him making any particularly amazing saves. Like I don't see us shooting enough in the corners. I do think we need to like as well as having more shots on target, getting a lot. We need to be actually having more.
Clinical strikes.
More challenging shots. Like Mason Mount's volley was fantastic. It was bottom right corner. There was almost no with 2 or 3 players in between him and the keeper, Fulham players. There was no way that the keeper was going to get to that. We just need to be finding the corners a little more, and that's as well as because we're having 20 shots in the game. And to be fair, Fulham had I think 10 attempts. I'm not sure if it was shots, but they had 10 attempts. So, and I don't really. Mendy made a couple of decent stops, I think, but maybe it was the same for Areola. But yeah, as well as getting them on target, we need to actually be really testing the keeper a bit. Like Werner, for example, he tried to get it into the corner at the end of the game, and it was about a couple of meters to the right. So, yeah, that's what they need to improve on.
I mean, I agree with you. I think there's no point just shooting straight blank at the keeper. And that's why I think I used the word clinical. And again, you've probably summed it up well, I'll just probably have to repeat you and say, yeah, we've got him. If we're shooting on target, if we're trying to aim at, let's say, 50% of our shots on target, yeah, hopefully we have those 50% in corners or in areas where we're troubling the keeper. But again, I still think the ratio to the shots we take and the shots that are actually inside of that goal is still quite low, honestly, from a Chelsea standard. But yeah, I think that's again, it boils down to um, the discussion that most of us are having on social media, on any platform at this point. It's Werner versus Tammy versus Giroud, and we kind of discussed this a few podcasts earlier. But Werner's form hasn't been incredible, and I think that's one of the reasons he hasn't been starting. And even though he did come off from the bench, he didn't have much impact other than the two missed chances that he had. Amart, how long are we going to give Werner before we start, thinking he's the next Morata? Even though I struggle in saying that.
It's way too early. Like, it's for me, people who call him the next Maratha and stuff like that. I think they're
Just to
being
clear it
unfair
up, I'm not
because
calling him the
we
next
know
Morata. I'm just
what.
saying, when does the
Yeah, yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah.
before
Yeah,
any
that's
Chelsea fan comes
I
there?
understand because no, because I've seen some articles. I think there was an article in the Athletic sometime, I think a week ago, comparing him to other strikers that didn't really do well at Chelsea, and like it sparked certain debates. It made people start talking about, um, started comparing him to Morata and those other players that didn't really do well. And I don't think it's fair because we know what he can do. We've seen what he can do. He's done it for us, but I think it's just something has gone wrong. I don't think it's. I don't think it's a behind the scene thing. I think it's a personal thing for him, and I think something has gone wrong. So because there are some chances that he can score, you see it, you see it clearly, like the one he had towards the end of the game. You know those chances are just something small for him to score. He can do it, but there's something just going wrong. And for me, I think I'm going to stick with Lampard saying that he's going to give him as many chances as he can. The the fact that he benched him today just shows that, like, it's still the team. His team selection is still based on merit, and if I think by saying that I might be a little bit unfair on Callum, but I think it just shows that it doesn't really matter if you are 70 million or 50 million or whatever it is. Like, if you're not on good form, you won't start. And I think it's just high time we benched him a bit, not just shut him out of the team, but bench him a bit when he comes in and he does well, like what Lampard did to um he has done it to Kepa last season, did it to Rudiger, he did it to Pulisic. He has done it to players in the past, and even Tammy. So when they come in, even we saw it with Rudiger this evening. Like, when he came in, he wanted to perform. He wanted to show that he has improved, he has changed, and he didn't have any mistake. I don't think he had a foot wrong today. He was very, very good today. So I think we need to do same with Werner. And Lampard is good at managing players like that, so I don't really have a problem with Werner. But his form is worrying. The form is definitely worrying. But we have to remember that the guy has signed for 4 years at Chelsea. This is just his first season. So I don't think we'll see this continue, like, in the long run. It's a short term thing, and the sooner he gets over it, the better.
I hope not. I hope he does get back to his usual form. Alex, his partner in crime, his you could call it his competition, his partner, his buddy, Tammy Abraham. He had such a great impact tonight. Um, does he still strike as Chelsea's number one? And even though there was a lot, I think we keep going back to this debate between the three of them, and how maybe Werner's going to be the top choice, followed by Tammy or Giroud, depending on who's better on performances. And I think Amart did mention this, and he said Frank Lampard's made it very clear that if you're not performing, you're not going to play. Um, Tammy has improved and he's impressed everyone. And is he the first choice for Chelsea, and is he the go-to man now?
It's a tricky one. Like, Tammy hasn't started the past three Premier League games yet. Against Arsenal, he scored. Against Man City, I think he did all right. And then today, he had an impact. So I really can't work out why he's not starting. I think it's just. I mean, I think yes, Frank is considering previous form, but he's also considering the attributes of each striker and with how would that suit this? How would that suit the opposition? So he felt that Giroud suited against Fulham, which I mean, but yeah, I definitely say that Tammy deserves. Like right now, Tammy is number one, but everything is just so fluid. Like one week it'll be Tammy, Giroud, Werner, and then hell, if Werner scores a hat trick next week somehow, then Werner will be top. And then if Giroud comes and then in the Champions League and somehow scores the winner against Atletico Madrid or something like that, then Giroud will be top again. It's just there is I don't see a well defined order anymore. I just see him as like whoever's whoever's the most good fit for. Well, no, firstly whoever's better on form, which right now is Tammy Abraham. So I can't work out why he didn't start today. I mean I really hope Tammy starts next game, but yeah, for me now it's currently it's Tammy Giroud Werner, but we can't just drop Werner because he needs to keep playing and eventually he'll get his first Premier League goal and get another Premier League goal and then he'll be back in it. But until then, we can't just keep risking adding to Werner's goal drought. We need goals. We need performances now. So yeah, for me, like against Leicester in midweek, it's got to be Tammy Abraham. Has to be. And the same with Cho. I don't know if we'll talk about it yet, but I really cannot work out why Cho didn't start. Maybe it's just a fitness thing or something, or he's saving Cho for Leicester, maybe. But if Cho doesn't start against Leicester, I'll be absolutely miffed. I'll just I won't understand it right now. He came on and he changed the game completely. He made everything happen as well as Mason Mount. Cho made everything happen, and he's just so direct. Like he scares the opposition team. He scared Man City, and he did it today as well. He needs to he needs to be starting. I yeah, Ziyech has looked. I don't know, not the best. So right now, so I would go like I know we'll predict lineups and all that later, but for me, Tammy absolutely has to start. Hudson-Odoi absolutely has to start, and then Pulisic looked okay, so one sharpish. So might as well have Pulisic start as well. But yeah, we need to be. For me, Ziyech and Werner for Leicester, I would drop them probably.
Yeah, Amart, I think Amart, when you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what he said about the rotation in the striking partnerships. I think the the that's a big issue for the team because I felt like Tammy and Werner had such a good partnership before Giroud just went out and said, "Nah, um, I don't care, but like f that partnership. I'm going to score 4 goals and start playing." So when he when he scored the 4 goals, he just changed the whole dynamic because now you can't leave him out after the 4 goals. You have to play him. So it kind of like messed up a bit with that because I felt like Abraham and Werner really hit it off very well. They hit it off very well, and Werner was at his best that time. I think that is gone now because of the lacking form and the inconsistency in the striking partnerships. But yeah, that's what I wanted to add. I just wanted to say that that put a shifted the kind of form that Werner had a bit. So he needs to he needs to like pick up and work out how to play with both of them, not just Tammy.
In all fairness, sorry. Sorry. Go on. I did.
Go on, go
I
on.
know. No, I interrupted last time. Sorry. Okay. I won't do. I
uh,
promise I won't do it for the last one anymore. But in all fairness to Werner, he did get the He did get the space towards the end of the Fulham game. He did have it, and just couldn't. So yeah.
I think that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Werner is the kind of person who likes to play when Chelsea has, Chelsea's creating through balls, and he likes to go in behind the defender, and he likes to play on the offside trap, if you want to call it that. And we've got strikers of different ability. I think Giroud and his headers, we all know what he can do, and we're lucky to have these three. And at the moment, I think Werner is doing everything right towards the build up of the goal or build up towards shooting. And then when it comes down to just on the one-on-one situation or just a shot at the end, it it just kind of results to him messing it up. And I think, yeah, it's purely because of the confidence and the lack of confidence that is there at the moment. So yeah, I think I hopefully we can have the old Werner back. We can have the Werner who was um, incredible at Leipzig. So yeah, and on the other hand, I think Tammy has been very impressive. He the way he came on, the way he was trying to press in and trying to make the Fulham defenders or make an error or have a loose ball where he can come up to. But yeah, overall, Tammy has been incredible. But yeah, I think Alex mentioned this a bit, and he went into this kind of Callum Hudson-Odoi versus Hakim Ziyech in a sense, and Callum's played so well. We've seen that in the FA Cup game. We saw that against Man City. We're seeing that again. We're seeing that tonight when he came on. Incredible impact. Those two great passes to Werner. And still Frank Lampard isn't starting him. Alex, do we know why that's happening, or do we what's the reason behind this?
Wait. Why? Who is starting? Sorry, I missed.
Why Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't starting, and why we're still going with Ziyech, even though I'm not saying Ziyech is not able to do. Um, he's the magic. He's the Wizard of London, to be honest. So, but he's on a lack of form, I would say. So why aren't we going with Callum Hudson-Odoi when we've got someone who's in form and who's been playing so well?
I'm not. I can't explain it, but after the Leicester game, hopefully we might be able to. I really hope that if I'm fully expecting Hudson-Odoi to start against Leicester. If he doesn't start against Leicester, then then it's clearly some kind of extra. I don't know. It's what you see all the rumors about. Maybe it was an off the pitch thing that he wasn't starting before, or he wasn't training well, or I have no idea. And there hasn't really been anyone reliable saying anything about why he just isn't being played as much as Ziyech or Pulisic, or just especially Pulisic. But yeah, I don't think anyone can explain it. But yeah, I'd like to think that it's because he wants to start him against Leicester. But in all fairness, we have spoken about this quite a few times, especially me and Amart, that Hudson-Odoi from the bench is not the same as Hudson-Odoi when he starts. Except, I mean, against Morecambe, he was really good. He was man of the match when he started. But normally, when he's started games, he doesn't really tend to do as well as when he's an impact sub, which you could either put it down to the opposition being a bit tireder, so they can't deal with him as well, or it's yeah, I'm not sure why, but that's what I think a lot of people agree with is that he doesn't play that well when he starts, but then when he comes off the bench, he just looks like a complete breath of fresh air compared to any of the other forwards.
Amart, can we say maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't starting right now is purely because I think he's got the pace and he's quite fast, and to be honest, his dribbling skills are better than I think most youngsters out there, um, at his position, of course. Are we not going to see the same Callum Hudson-Odoi when we see him start? comparing him to when he comes on for the last 20 to 30 minutes and he has this burst of energy that just comes out of him. And I think Alex also mentioned this.
Yeah, I think with Callum and Ziyech, for me, like I'll always pick Ziyech because even when we see Ziyech quote unquote having a bad form, he still kind of finds certain passes that, if probably like have been received well or something, we would have gotten a goal. Because today he didn't really have a great performance. The first half was good. The first half he was making some um, um, interesting passes and big moves in the first half. But the second half was where he was falling short a bit. But even the second half, he still made some crazy passes. I think there was a chance that he made. It missed Giroud and Tammy, and Pulisic almost got to it. I think those kind of things is what Lampard wants from Ziyech, and we have not really seen that from Callum. Aside from the fact that like the attributes you are saying, he has good dribbling skills. He can take on defenders. He's more direct and all that. But like when we need that kind of magic, those kind of crosses, the crosses that Lampard wants, he will always get it from Ziyech. And I think Ziyech really is also coming back from injury. This is his second game after he came from injury, so he's also regaining a little bit of form. But for me, if both of them are on form, I'll always go with Ziyech. I will not go with Callum. But I think Lampard will be able to rotate them a bit. For me, I'll prefer Callum to against Leicester. I'll prefer Callum to start, but probably Pulisic on the bench because I think he also didn't have a really good game today. He was in the first half. He was losing possession quite a bit in the on the left hand side, but in the second half he did really well. So you see where the thing is. Pulisic didn't do well in the first half. Though did well in the second half. Ziyech did well in the first half. Didn't do well in the second half. So it's like
Are we like trying to balance out the team just so that we're not just doing too much every game?
probably, but like Alex said, Callum, he has. I mean, he has played certain big games where he has started and had good games, but most of the times when he comes on as a sub, he's a different kind of player. Like when he comes over as a sub, he's very very good. I don't remember the last time that he came on as a sub that he was bad. And I think the last podcast I was telling I think Alex and I discussed about it, that it's easy for you to sit on the bench and come in and come and make an impact. It's very easy because that way you've already seen the faults of the person you're going to replace. Then you come and correct that, or Lampard will give you a new direction that you have to come and execute on the on the pitch, because he has seen a mistake somewhere that he wants to fix. So it's easy for you to come in and just fill in those spots and then do well. So based on that, people will say you need to start. And when you start, you are a little bit lackluster. So I'm not saying that's what will happen with Callum, but I want him to start against Leicester so that we'll see that yes, Callum is in form. Callum can do this. Callum can do that. So for me, I'll prefer him to start alongside Ziyech. I don't want Ziyech to be benched against Leicester. Those passes, if Tammy gets onto them, like we will score. And Tommy too, I don't know what's wrong, but he doesn't really score much with his head, so it will be interesting. But with the Callum and Ziyech situation, I feel like Lampard just has to find a way to rotate them.
Yeah, I think this is always going to be an ongoing debate between Chelsea fans, and clearly right now, if you Alex, if you had to pick between the two, and I know we're going to do that for this Leicester game in a bit, but if you had to pick between the two based on the last three performances or the last five performances, who would you have in your team generally? Not, let's say, not against Leicester.
Oh, wait, between Ziyech and Cho?
Yeah,
Oh, man, that is tough.
unless you want Werner on the wing.
Well, I would put Pulisic on the right and then put Cho on the left. So yeah, I would go. It's tough, but right now, yeah, I would go with Cho. But then I wouldn't play Cho on the right wing. I would play Cho on the left wing and put Pulisic on the right. Yeah.
Amart, what would yours be?
I think with both of them on form, I'm going to go with Ziyech, but with the current performances, yeah, I think Callum will be the better fit. Even though Ziyech still like, I really don't see Ziyech having bad games. So like, I see the passes going, but I just see that sometimes they don't reach the defenders, the strikers don't position themselves well, or I think if it clicks, like the positions, like he finds those positions well. He has like a 7, 8 over 10 performance easily because you get like 2 or 3 assists. But if those passes don't reach the strikers, and we are like, um, he has a bad game. So I mean, it's like it's gonna be tough. But based on current performances and the fact that ZH is returning from an injury, yeah, I'll go with Callum.
I think I'll have to agree with both of you on this one. Callum gets a nod ahead of Ziyech based on current performances. But the third kind of player discussion we wanted to have, it's not a comparison one. We've done enough comparisons, I think. Let's have a bit of a Mount propaganda now. A few of our fans will enjoy that. But Mason Mount, how good has he been for Chelsea, Amart?
He's been fantastic. Like I just look at him and I just look at him play, and I have a smile on my face throughout the whole game. And the way he plays, you can just see that he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he gives his all for the team. Like you want to see that. I think I touched on that a bit in the earlier discussion, but you want to see that. You want to see players who give give their all for the club. Like that's why we like people like Lampard, Terry, ACN, Drogba, those players. Like you see that even on their bad days, they still try 100% to deliver on the pitch, and I think that's what he was doing. He was linking up very well with Aspi on the right. I think was it on the left? I think on the left. No, yeah, on the right. On the right, he was linking very well with Aspi on the right, and in the first half, he was also linking very well with Pulisic and Ziyech, and he was everywhere. To be frank, he was everywhere, and his defensive abilities in the second half was just fantastic. Like running down um, players to just win possession back, and he hardly put a foot wrong. There was a stat. Probably you read out the stat later, but there was a stat that came out and it was very, very impressive. Like his offensive work was very, very good, and likewise his defensive work. So today I think he was the best player by far from the time the game started till the end. He was the best player, and I think he's the only one that can't be dropped. To be honest, he's the only player. Should I say only? I think because with the
You've
FA
got to be
Cups he's still
careful.
there. No, no. The thing is, with the FA Cups, he's still there. He's not rotated. He plays the FA Cups. If you play the Champions League, obviously, I think he's the only one that can play those 3 tournaments without getting dropped or changed. Because players like Thiago Silva, Mendy, they can be swapped out in the FA Cup games. We can bring Kepa, we can bring Rudiger, Christensen, those players. But with Mount, I think it's a constant. So and the way he's performing nowadays, I think he has solidified that even more.
I'll have to agree on that one. I think Mason Mount. I'll say he's. This is going to cause chaos, but I think he's the best Chelsea player at the moment. Um, no one comes close at the moment based on recent performances. As much as he gets a lot of stick for, you know, I think that's what comes with being good. A lot of people hate on you for no reason, and um, he's been incredible, and tonight's performance just sums that up. He was probably the only promising player during that period when Chelsea didn't have a goal and he was trying to create chances. The passes he was making, helping switch plays between the left and the right. So yeah, overall, Mason Mount has been incredible. Alex, your opinions on Mason Mount?
Yeah,
Matthew, get ready.
nah. There's no drama to be seen here. It's pretty clear. Although I do disagree with the whole no one comes close. I do think Thiago Silva has been pretty consistent. Like he's been pretty. I think he's probably our second best beside Mount right now. Oh, and to be fair, Cho as well. I don't think Cho and Silva are that far behind Mount
I
in terms
think
of
based
form.
of consistency, if I look at
Yeah,
throughout the season, if I had to pick best player,
Yeah, I agree.
I'd
I agree.
probably say Mount.
Yeah, for the whole of the season, absolutely Mount, because Mount's been playing all the time. Like, to be fair, Cho, you can't be consistent if you don't play. So, but then again, that is his fault. It's not Mount's fault. So yeah, it's been Mount. But then I do think when Cho's come on, he's shown that he can perform to a similar level. So I'd say Cho isn't too far behind him, and Thiago Silva's not far behind him either. Yeah. So, but yeah, Mount's comfortably been. He's been the best player so far. Absolutely, yeah, and it's deserved. It's so clear to see now. Like, I used to kind of not really see it too much because he's like, if you look at the number of key passes that he pulls off this season compared to last, essentially his passing. I think his passing has improved quite a lot from last year. His passing is. I mean, there were some games last year where you could see it where he would pass very directly, pass forward, and pass fast. But not in some games it would happen, in some and others it wouldn't. But this season, consistently, he makes things happen. He speeds up the play. So yeah, I can't. He's just it's not. It's I don't think it's for debate. There's no one else that's been better than Mason Mount this season.
Yeah, I think incredible. You people talk about 100 million signings, and then you've got academy players such as Mason Mount. Not throwing any shade to Kai Havertz or Timo Werner or any one of the Chelsea signings, but I think Chelsea Academy over the last few years has produced some incredible talent and is hopefully going to be producing a lot of great talents over the next few
Yeah,
years.
and
But I think
sorry,
that's
one
some.
thing to I wanted to add is that the more I see him play, the more he reminds me of Frank Lampard, and I think that's even excites me even more because if we can get
The one comment we were waiting for.
exactly like
Matt, there you go.
if
That's the
if
one.
if we can get a Lampard 2.0 this time, man, I think we will get it from Mount. If he continues like this, I don't want to jump the gun, but if he continues like yeah, that's that's the point of the 2.0. I want him to be way better. If he can double Lampard's goals, fine.
Double.
Oh man.
He'd be like Pele counting those goals on FIFA.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the more I see him play, the more it reminds me of Lampard. Like, and I just like it.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, he does. I mean, great talent, and yeah, he's got a bright future ahead at Chelsea. And yeah, I think as long as he's at Chelsea, we can speak highly of him. Um, but yeah, I think that sums up the game pretty much. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. We end Saturday night on 7th place, even though at the moment we're looking at it, and in the 87th minute, Leicester are leading by a goal, which means that our next opponent, if we beat them and Liverpool lose points, then we could go 1 point behind Liverpool, depending on Man City and Everton results. But yeah, a lot on the line. Good performance, but again, are we, Amar? Are we confident that we're going to beat Leicester? They've been on a good run of form. I think they have won their last 5. They've won 3, drawn 2, and lost none. So, um, how are we looking for that
When it
match?
comes to Chelsea and Leicester, I think the game usually is unpredictable. Like last season, they beat us home. We drew home and away with them, and then we beat them in the FA Cup by I think a goal to nil or so. So it's always a KG affair. It's always a close. Like we are friends. Like they know we are friends. We don't have any rivalry with them. Like we helped them win the cup at the Premier League some years back and took it away from uh, um, Tottenham. So they are homies. So it's very difficult playing against them because you don't hate them, but you still want to beat them, and it's always difficult to get the win over them because they are very good. They are very very good, and Brendan Rodgers is also a very good manager and tactically. So it will be a KG affair. To be a very difficult game. So I really can't predict. I think going in a draw will be okay with me. I'll be okay getting a draw, but I hope we win. I really hope we win. And yeah, and like you said, they've been on a good run. They are now second. Yeah, other teams around them haven't played yet, but they are now second, and they are. I mean, they are very difficult. They are a very difficult team to break down. That's why I'll prefer to see ZH, but I mean that's a whole different thing. So
Alex, your thoughts on the Leicester game?
Yeah, I mean, I do. It'll be tough, but it's at the bridge, isn't it? I think.
I think we're
they
playing
are
home.
playing
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to
No,
predict it right now,
no. Actually, we're playing.
yeah, we are away.
playing
It's
away.
away. Yeah.
Let
We're
me see.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow, that's interesting. Last Chelsea game I went to was Leicester Chelsea away last season, and but yeah, I'm not confident. I am not confident for it, but it all depends on the lineup. If Kante is able to come back, don't want to see the same midfield. I don't want to see Jorginho and start. Even though I like the guy, it's not to deal with all the pace that Leicester have. Just no, please not. But yeah, we can hurt them. We have everything. We have all the tools to beat them even. But yeah, it just depends if Frank gets the lineup right. If on the how Leicester are feeling, I'm not confident because I don't think we've beaten. I can't remember. I mean, I think we beat Leicester in the cup last year, but before that, I can't remember last time we beat Leicester. I think it's been quite a few games. So yeah, it'll be really tough, but I'm looking forward to it though, and hopefully Havertz. I really hope Havertz starts because I don't think Havertz Havertz didn't play today, so should be rested. Play Havertz, play Mount, play Kante, and then up top it just has. I just hope all the players that are in form get their chance because it could go badly. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost or drew, but I think there's still hope. We can still be hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester again. Yeah, as Amart said, it's always a hard game, and it's always unpredictable. So I don't want to get too confident. I don't want to sit here and say that's a Chelsea 3 points, and especially looking at their form. And Chelsea have had a few troubles, and our performances probably haven't been to the level that we want or the best of performances that we could have. But honestly, I think I'm hoping that we do end up winning, and hopefully winning. I mean, going back to winning ways, challenging top four, and let me start this train again. Maybe even the title. But no, I think let's head into the team selection. Who have we got for goalkeeper? I think not much competition. I mean, Kepa didn't start today, so do we want to give him a shot against Leicester?
I mean,
No.
if he didn't get if he,
Silence. The silence. The silence.
no,
No,
if he didn't get
no.
if he
If
didn't
we're
get a
gonna,
shot against Fulham, why should he get a shot against Leicester? I mean, no.
Honestly, I feel like he deserved tonight. I feel like he deserved to start tonight. His performance against Morecambe. I mean, even though it was a don't want to say it was a dead game, but it was a dead game. Um, I would have given Kepa a chance tonight, but that's
But I
just
think
me
that there was a chance
siding with my favorite
there was a
player.
chance that I think there was a mistake that happened at the back between Aspi and Mendy, and when that thing happened, I was thinking how Kepa would have handled that situation, but I don't know. Probably he would have handled it better, but we've seen him in a situation like that before, and he didn't handle it well. So I think Mendy was best.
Okay, Mendy in goal then, I guess. Mendy
yep,
for all
Yeah,
of us.
definitely Mendy.
yep.
Back four, do we see Reece James coming back?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes. I think so.
absolutely. Yes.
Look at the instant
It,
response.
it's not.
Do we see Kepa starting? Silence. Do we see James coming back? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Aspi was all right. I thought Aspi was all right. But yeah, he's just not as good at attacking as Reece James, and we'll absolutely need him. So yeah, Reece James absolutely has to start. And then the other three picks itself. Rudiger, it was nice to see you, but no thanks. See you again. I'll type. Yeah, it's got. I mean, unless there is actually a problem, Katsuma actually has a problem, then yeah, I'm still going Zuma, Tiago Silva, and Choel.
Amart, you're back for.
Yeah, the same thing. Again, like he said, Aspi did very well today, but sometimes I feel like he was beaten a bit, quite a bit when it came to pace. Um, I think that's something we wouldn't get when we play with James there. I think he's faster than Aspi, so in those situations, and he crosses better also than Aspi. So I think in those two areas, I'll prefer to see James rather than because of those two areas. I prefer to see James rather than Aspi. And then the other players, definitely Zuma coming back. The way, I mean, the corners that we took today were very, very good. Like almost all Mason Mount's corners today were fantastic. And I was just screaming that we needed Zuma. Like we needed Zuma in just for one corner and then he goes out. Like because he could have headed in any of those chances. And I think apart from that quality that he has, I think he's much more steady at the back. And Rudiger didn't do anything bad today, but I think um, Zuma is much more steady at the back with Thiago Silva, and Chilwell has just solidified that place, so you can't really bench any of them.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that as well. So I'll go with the same back four as you. Midfield three. Is Mount there?
Nah, no. We're playing Mount. No, plot twist. We're playing Mount of Strike. No. We're going. I'll let Amart go first this time.
He's leaving the tricky one on you or what?
I mean, if Kante comes back
It's not
fit,
tricky.
if Kante comes back fit, and I think in the Man City game, you could tell he was a bit tired or he was carrying a knock or whatever it is. But I think in the Man City game wasn't really his best. I think that's his worst performance throughout the season. But if with two games, he has gotten some rest. He has missed two games. He has gotten some rest, and I know Kante can come back and perform like Kante does. And so I'm going to go with him. And but I really wanted to see Billy Gilmore today because I just want to see how he will fare against the Fulham players. But I don't think he will start against Leicester. So definitely Kante, Mount, and Havertz. Yes, Havertz as well, so that we can be more direct instead of depending on the crosses most of the time. So Kante, Havertz, and then Mount.
Alex, your mid three.
Yeah, I go with the same. And if, but I'm still a bit wary of playing Kante because, yeah, it's just recently not been that great. So, and even with the Man City game aside, so I want to see Gilmore start, but maybe it's a bit too much to throw him in to start against Leicester. So yeah, I'm gonna play, but yeah, Jorginho can't start.
No,
I
definitely
really hope he
not.
doesn't. Because, no. So
I think he started today, but he was nowhere to be seen on
I
the
mean,
pitch.
today
yeah,
he was practically non-existent, and you saw it that when he went,
yeah,
the game changed. So I don't know.
yeah,
I still don't know what. To be honest, with this current formation, I still don't know what he offers because offensively, not really that much. I think he performs best when we are in the lead. When we're in the lead, he can really hold the ball, hold the
yeah,
possession, and then prevent the opposition from attacking and all that, like getting possession even at all. But when we are chasing the goal, when we are like chasing the game or probably we want a goal, he's not really the best. And then his penalties too nowadays has been sussed out. So I don't really know what he offers, to be honest.
yeah. I agree. Like, I don't know why he's not used as an impact sub when it's so clear that like whenever he has been brought on as a sub, he changes the game in a good way when we're already in control. So I don't know why that he's not used as an impact sub, which and it would be so good to be able to just use him as an impact sub because his control of the game. He can really calm the team when we're under a bit of pressure. Like towards the end of the Fulham game, when we were 1-0 up and Fulham were kind of going for it and getting a couple. Yeah, nah, they weren't really getting free kicks, but yeah, they were going for it. It would have been, if Georgie wasn't on, I would have played it. I would have had to put him on then to get some more control. But yeah, it's annoying. Definitely rather see Kante or Gilmore play and start ahead of him. And to be fair, Gilmore proved himself against City. He did good. He did good. So all right. I'm gonna say Gilmore, Mount, Havertz because
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll go with. I'll go with. I'll probably have to side with Amart on this one. I'll probably go with Kante, Mount, and Havertz on this one. Gilmore was good against Morecambe, and yes, I think he probably would have come on as a substitute tonight if we would have gotten an early goal. But yeah, I just want to see Kante back in the team, and yes, his performances haven't been great, but Kante is Kante. That's the best explanation. So yeah, I think that would be my middle three, and then for the front three, I'll go with Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy, and Pulisic. Alex, what about you?
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm not sure if it'll happen because you can never.
Honestly, if I don't see Callum Hudson-Odoi start next time, I'll be very surprised and very angry. I think.
Yeah. I just don't know. It's so hard to predict now. You never know you never know what front three he's going to pick between the strikers, and either does Cho start, does Cho get rested? Yeah, it's so hard to predict. But I'm going to go same because that's what it should on form. It should be those three.
Yeah, if Lampard prides in saying that he's going to pick whoever's in form, then I think Tammy and Callum Hudson-Odoi both deserve to start over the rest. But I'm not going to question Lampard's decision. So, Amart, your front three?
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's hard to bench Pulisic and Ziyech, but I really want to see Ziyech against um, Leicester. So I'm going to go with Tammy up top, Ziyech and Callum. So probably Pulisic starts from the bench.
Okay, so overall, strong team, almost similar, a few changes here and there for Leicester. Hopefully, Chelsea do get the win, and if they do again, they will be. And if Liverpool or Man United drop points, then we can come closer to the top four and hopefully go back into that same old 17, 18 game win streak. Tough period coming ahead for Chelsea, heading into, I think the next few games are not as challenging as the ones that start on the 20th of February when we play teams like Atletico, Man United, Liverpool, Atletico again, Leeds and Everton. So this is probably the best time for Chelsea to go ahead and then grab some wins. And of course, in between that, we've got Tottenham, who were in great form. They're not doing the worst, but they have seemed to have had a dip in their form as well, just as us. So hopefully back on our feet next week. Looking forward to the game. And I think that sums up the whole episode, guys. Anything you guys want to add on? Anything that you guys want to say?
No, not really. I think
Not really. No.
I think we've talked in full length about everything, and then there wasn't really any youth game and women's team to talk about. So I think that's that.
Yep, I think that covers up the whole episode, guys. If you are not following all of our social media pages, make sure you do. And if you missed out on our announcements a few days ago, let me just quickly give you a recap. We are now we have now got another channel where we'll be doing short form videos. You'll be able to see clips directly from the podcast on there, as well as live watch alongs with new presenters, which probably by the time this episode is released will be announced. And they will probably be joining us on the podcast every so often just to have a chat as well, or maybe have their own segment on the thing. But yeah, it is what it is. As well as that, we have updated our website, and now we're doing a lot more women's and youth content on there. You will see our writers publish articles on both of those teams, as well as a bit of we'll be touching those on the podcast as well. Maybe not in as much detail as we do with the men's team at the moment, but we will try and discuss those as well, as they're important parts of Chelsea FC. Other than that, all of our graphics look incredible. Shout out to Taran on that. You can find his links in the description below. And I'd like to say a thank you to all the CFCTALK team members. What a great launch this has been. What a last 6 months have been almost now. And we're almost hitting 50 episodes, guys. I think that's almost 2,000 hours of talking to each other about football, and Lampard in, Lampard out, Mason Mount, and then Werner, Willian.
2,000 hours?
2,000 hours.
What?
Really?
Nah, that can't
I
be.
think it's... Wait,
Be. So
have I 2,000 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah. I was thinking 40 times.
My bad.
It would be we'd have to do 2,000 episodes to get to 2,000 hours. But yeah,
I think we've done pretty much 2,500 actually.
Yeah.
I'm just opening it up quickly. Yeah, 2,500. Yeah, 2,573.
Like on average, our episodes are around an hour. So if we've done 40 episodes, then yeah, that's around 2,400 at least minutes. So yeah, should be. It's been nice. So how many? We only need to do 1,940 episodes, and then technically, actually no, to master something. Is it 10,000 hours or is it 1,000 hours? 10,000.
To match to what?
To master something, it's 10,000 to master something.
I think it's 10,000.
Yeah, so we just have to do 9,960 more episodes, and then we'll become masters of Chelsea podcasting. Easy.
The way it's been looking, I think we could go on forever at this point. But yeah, great to have you both on this podcast as always. And I think that will be all from tonight. We will see you next time and on our predictions.